Hello and welcome to Chocolate Cover Game. My name is Tim,
And I'm Doug.
and we're here for the monthly melt of February 2023.
Yep.
As always, we start with our fives,
Yep.
and this month I got to choose. And since the big game happened this month, later on you'll see we had another thing dealt with the big game for Vote It, but I thought everybody spends a lot of money on these commercials.
Yeah.
So, what commercials have stuck with us the longest? And they don't have to be Super Bowl commercials. In fact,
Yeah.
well, in fairness, two of mine are Super Bowl commercials, but three of them aren't.
Okay.
But these are, five commercials that we remember, be it happy or sad or funny. I don't know if you have any sad ones. But there are some memorable sad commercials in history.
No. I don't think any are sad. Maybe one.
Yeah. But since it's my list, that means you get to go first.
Yep.
So you're number five.
So my number 5, I believe, was a big game commercial
Okay.
from back in the day. And it's the McDonald's commercial.
Is it the Bird Jordan?
Yes.
That was a Super Bowl commercial.
Okay. Where they play horse for
The Big
Big
Mac.
Mac.
Yeah.
that one just stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's an iconic commercial with two legends in basketball, and it's one of those commercials that when you think McDonald's, what commercials do you think?
Yeah.
That's got to be close to the top of some people's list.
That's a very young Jordan. I think that's like his second season Jordan, like 1990.
Yeah, I believe 87 or 88 was his rookie year.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I know him and Bird didn't cross much. Only
Yeah.
like a couple seasons.
but it's just one of those commercials that I remember.
It's a good
So,
classic commercial.
That's my number 5, the McDonald's commercial with Bird and Jordan.
Yep.
Are you going to link any of these?
Yeah, I normally say the product and then what the
No,
commercial.
I'm like linking them in the description for people to go watch them if they've never seen them.
If I can find them online,
Okay.
I can do that. This one might not be online
Okay.
because this one's to our state particularly.
Okay.
And it's the only commercial I think on our list that still airs.
Thinking of maybe I know it.
What do you think it is?
I think it's the Pennsylvania Lottery Gus Christmas commercial.
Close. It is a Christmas one. It's the lottery. It's the Happy Holidays one that they had to remake when we switched from broadcast to analog or analog to broadcast. You don't remember that was a big deal?
No.
Yeah, when
The one where they...
like Happy Holidays, Rita.
Yeah, and they give them the lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Well, Gus is part of that.
No,
Oh, Gus, the groundhog is not part of that?
No.
Oh.
this was the one that was like made in the 80s, and when TV switched from analog to digital, they couldn't run the commercial the one year, and people were up in arms, so they had to reshoot the video, and they got all the original people back, and the thing that they added, like the LED light deer in the background for one scene, that's the only way you can tell it's the new one. Well, then the people are like 20 years older.
Well, there is a Gus one out with that. Where they're like, oh, that's a great gift. And they're like, it sure is.
Well, they did a parody one with Gus, but
Okay.
I'm talking the original one.
And for anybody that doesn't know, Gus is the second most famous groundhog in Pennsylvania according to the Pennsylvania Lottery.
Yeah. Yeah, that commercial always stuck out with me because our family has 0 traditions in our family tree. So the closest family tradition we have is the Pennsylvania Lottery commercial.
We have traditions.
So.
Maybe. I guess we really don't.
Yeah, see? If you have to think about it, there ain't no traditions. And I'm like, oh, it's Christmas time. They're pushing the lottery on me. Like, granted, they're always pushing the lottery
Yes.
on me, but they're more festive at the holiday
Yes.
season. I can't believe you don't remember that big controversy the year we didn't have the commercial. Yeah. When we switched from analog to digital, and they had to reshoot the whole commercial.
Nope.
And you can tell the two commercials apart mainly because the age of everybody jumps by 20 years, and there's a reindeer now.
Don't remember that one at all.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Nope.
Yep. I'll have to see if I can find both of them. And then your third mocking one where they replace the person with Gus. And they're like, instead of hi, Rhea, they're like, hi, Gus.
No, he's it's hey. He says hi, Rita, and they give him the
The-
Christmas card
Yeah.
with the lottery ticket.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Ooh, what a great present!" And Gus is like standing off the side, and he's like, "It sure is."
Yep. Now I will grant you, the lottery ticket is not a great Christmas gift. It's literally saying, I spent $5 on you. That might be $0.
Unless you buy the dollar ticket.
Yeah, then you're like saying, I've only wasted $1 on you.
Yeah.
It might be worth $0.
Yeah.
Have fun. So that was my number 5,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania Lottery. Happy holidays.
So my number 5 is a Sports Center commercial.
Happy Honda Days.
No,
Toyota-thon?
no, those are like, I don't say that. Want to say they're memorable. They're like brain entrenching.
Civic Civil Holidays.
Yep.
Why they never jumped on that?
Yep. So my 4 is a Sports Center commercial. I don't know the title of the commercial because they all have titles. Or, well, I guess some of the titles are just the people who are in it.
Yeah.
This is the New Jersey Devil,
Okay.
and this is him and at that point Jay Harris, who was an ESPN anchor.
Yep.
Jay Harris is standing at the elevator. Door opens, the New Jersey Devil's on it,
I remember.
and he gets on. Well, for people that don't remember,
Yeah.
he gets on and he says, "Going up," and the New Jersey Devil just shakes his head. And as the door closing, Jay Harris sneaks out.
Yep.
Don't know why, but that one has always stuck with me.
That's because the Jersey Devil mascot looks ridiculous.
So my number 4 was a Sports Center commercial, the New Jersey Devil featuring Jay Harris.
Okay. My number 4, I guarantee you would never guess. I don't know if you may have seen it in passing, but you know,
Is it another local commercial?
no,
Like for runners?
no. I know this commercial probably hasn't aired in 30 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
The Mean Joe Green Coke one?
that's lower than 30 years. No, this commercial I would see when I was growing up every day. It'd be like the very first commercial for Eureka's Castle.
Okay.
And it was a commercial for the BBC's Mozzie language program.
Nope.
It was a little kid that would be like, "Just a V," and like one of the BBC hosts would walk in like, "They're speaking French," and no, these kids aren't French; they're American. And you're like, gasp! But you could tell they were lying that these were like French children because they had like very thick French accents.
Yeah.
And like in the background, the dad was like smoking a cigar, chugging wine, and eating a baguette. And like, yep, this is totally American. And all the outlets are like the European outlets.
Yeah. Nope. Don't know that one at all.
Oh yeah, I looked it up, and the company still exists. It's very sad though because they switched from their hand drawn cartoons where you get your 5 VHS tapes to learn and your 2 cassette tapes to listen to, but now it's all CGI cartoons. But like the really bad like dollar store CGI. But yep, my number 4 is the BBC Mozzie language program. Just because I saw it every day during Eureka's Castle.
Nope. Never saw it. My number 3 is a Sports Center commercial.
I'm assuming from here on out they're all Sports Center commercials.
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay. Fox Sports 1 commercial in there somewhere.
So this one, the title is just Evander Holyfield. And so this commercial has Evander Holyfield and Charlie Steiner, who was an anchor again for ESPN. And it talks, Charlie Steiner talking about, when you say something bad about athletes and everything. And it has Evander Holyfield walking through the hallways of the ESPN studios. And he's walking around like this, going, "Charlie, come on out and get your whooping. Come on." And shows Charlie Steiner hiding under the desk. I don't know why that one's always stuck with me. I I just
I
think it's
mean,
a
you
great
did-
commercial.
You did miss this up when they were talking about like when I rated Holyfield like the 50th best boxer, and the
Yeah.
guy's like of all time. He's like, no, of Georgia.
Yeah, that was great. It's a good commercial.
I'm trying to remember if this is pre bite or post bite for Holyfield.
Yeah, I don't know,
I think it
don't
was
remember.
post bite.
but yeah, it's a good commercial. All around, it's a good setup, and Charlie Steiner just sells it. If you've never seen any clips of Charlie Steiner on ESPN, the famous one is just him laughing, where he loses on set and he just keeps laughing. So yeah, making him the guy in a lot of those ESPN commercials during that time was perfect. And yeah, I vote him the 50th greatest boxer of all time. In Georgia,
Yeah.
great. So that's my number 3.
My number 3 is a commercial that the younger generation, Generation Z and Alpha, won't understand at all.
Okay,
And this has to deal with coupons.
coupons.
Yep. The whole premise of the commercial is it's for Sears.
Okay,
It's called the Squirrel Revolution, and it's a married couple, and they come into the room. And the wife's like, "Oh, look at all the squirrels," and he's like, "Yeah, I got them to clip all the coupons." And she's like, "No, we don't have to waste time clipping coupons." And the squirrels get mad and they start rioting and they beat up the guy. and the commercial ends like Sears now has digital coupons because it was like the start of the digital coupon age.
Oh.
And like kids don't remember that Monday through Friday be school or work, Saturday you clip coupons from morning to night, and Sunday was church, and you have no free time because you had to clip coupons, and it took up half your life. Nowadays all your coupons are digital. You just go on your phone and you here. But no, this was a great commercial that introduced digital coupons. Like, don't get the Sears catalog and clip 40 coupons. Just bring your phone.
I don't remember that commercial at
Well,
all.
it wasn't bring your phone. It was like download them off the computer and print them.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I don't remember that at all.
I always loved that commercial. I forget the comedian who voiced the squirrel in it, but yeah, a whole bunch of squirrels beating up a guy because they were tired of clipping coupons, like the rest of America.
Don't remember that.
Yeah, that was not a Super Bowl commercial. My next 2 are.
Okay.
My final 2 are Super Bowl commercials.
So my number 2 is a Sports Center commercial.
Okay, I'm gonna say this one is Ovechkin,
No,
Arnold Palmer.
no.
Oh,
This one was titled Y2K.
okay.
So this is where they decide to run a test for what would happen when Y2K hit.
Something
As
else the
peop-
Generation
Yes.
Z and Alpha won't understand.
As was common back then. So the best thing is they like shut the power off, and it has Mark McGuire in it, the Yukon Husky, and Charlie Steiner,
Yeah.
who when the lights go out, Charlie Steiner's got his tie tied around his head and it's hanging out the side, and he's follow me to freedom as they're going through the dark hallways. Again, Charlie Steiner sells that. It's a great commercial. And just that follow me to freedom with the tie hanging off his head. Great commercial for that time. But yes, the farther and farther we get away from Y2K, people are going to be like, what was the big deal?
Mm-hmm.
So that was my number 2.
My number 2, like I said, it's a Super Bowl commercial. This one's probably about a decade old now. I'm not exactly sure how long ago it's been. But it's for Bridgestone tires.
Okay.
And the thing I remember the joke, but the thing I remember the most after the commercial is there was a glaring error in it.
Was this where like they made all the sports equipment from the Bridgestone tires?
No,
Yeah.
this was this Bridgestone Beaver, and the guy's driving his car and he sees a beaver crossing the street. He swerves, and the beaver's like, "Ah, thanks kind of thing. And, doesn't think anything of it. And then it says, like, a few months later, a tree falls down in front of the car and he slams on his brake. And he sees the beaver again over there. And the little beaver's like, points to the guy. And then it cuts to the opposite side of the tree where the bridge was.
Yeah.
And it's washed away and it's like flooding. And I never thought anything about that part of the video until I looked it up again. But the person that CGI'd the river raised it higher than what the tree lines were around it. So the water should have spread out instead of just jizzing up. But yeah, it was the beaver who saves the guy from death.
What if the tree would have landed on the guy's car?
Well, it's also a very weird road setup because you're driving through the woods so you can't see, and then a sharp 90-degree turn into a bridge. I'm like, that's the worst road setup because they're like, you can't see the bridge. I'm like, yeah, what road runs parallel with the river that you can't see because of thick forest, and you got to jettison right to a bridge?
Again, I don't remember this commercial.
Well, it was like a 15-second commercial. But yeah, I always remember that, the little beaver going.
I have to look that one up.
Yeah.
That's your second one with, like, an animal.
And
like that.
This is my last animal one.
Yeah.
Well, if you count the fifth one with your Gus parody one.
That was your number two.
Bridgestone Beaver.
So, my number one.
Okay. Sports Center.
It's a Sports Center commercial. You can tell what I spent a lot of time watching in my high school days. But this is one of the best ones. And the title of it's called Yahtzee. And this is with Kenny Mayne, who had a lot of... Him and Charlie Steiner, I think, were two of the best for commercials. Because Kenny Mayne also did one where they did like Sports Center around the world, and he was Kenny Mansky.
Yep.
And he was like doing the dance. But this one is Yahtzee. And so he's sitting in the room editing baseball highlights.
Yep.
And there's a home run. It's a Ken Griffey Jr. home run. And so shows the home run, and one of the things it says is, "I'm the most popular player in all the land."
Yep.
And then there's another one. He's like, "I want all the finest meats and cheeses." And then the best one though is, "It's never iffy if it's Griffey." And he's like, "Oh, that blows."
Yeah.
And it's just like Yahtzee. But yeah, for me, the never iffy if it's Griffey line was the best. Yeah, it's never iffy if it's Griffey. Oh, that blows.
Yeah, I thought for sure your number one would either been Syracuse or Stanford.
No, are you talking the Syracuse one where they're eating the oranges?
Yeah.
That one's actually recent. I think that one was only like 2 years ago. Because the Sports Center commercials went away. The This is Sports Center is what all the Sports Center commercials are. Yeah, where they're sitting there eating orange slices. It's like Alex Morgan. It's not Alex Morgan. It's Ripon and two other women's soccer players. And the Syracuse Orange just walks in. But the Stanford Tree one with Jason Hayward...
Yeah.
is great because it's Jason Hayward, Scott Van Pelt, and I forget who the other anchor is. And Jason Hayward's talking about how they cut down the tree and they keep taking parts off of the bat. And the Stanford tree's like sitting at the lunch table next to him, and they're going, "Oh man, those blades must be sharp." He's like, "They're razor sharp." Yeah. And so he talks about that. And then all of a sudden you see just the Stanford Tree just go and pass out. And they all just look at him. And they're going, "Well, tell me about your name on there." He's like, "Yeah, it's laser engraved."
Yeah. That one's good. I thought you might have done the pirate one with all the pirate mascots that interrupt the board meeting.
That one's okay. The Oregon Duck.
Yeah.
Where the Oregon Duck's typing and he looks outside at the ducks in the pond and he's just like...
Yeah.
There are so many great ESPN commercials. Jimmy Johnson, going into where he's in the parking lot, and you don't see what's happening. You just hear this pounding. Anchor walks by, and it's Jimmy Johnson having a pickaxe to the speed bump. The Drew Brees driving the Mardi Gras float stuck at the front gate. He's going like, the gate is narrow.
Yep.
And everybody behind him is blowing on the horn. The Linda Cohn commercial where Mr. Met is rubbing oil on her back.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, get off me. Well, I think Linda Cohn may be my favorite ESPN anchor of all time because she did a lot of hockey. So her, John Buccigross. There aren't that many Bucci commercials with John Buccigross. But, yeah, the ESPN commercials, to me, those are what I remember. That's why they're 4 out of my top 5. It probably could have been my top 5, top 10, and top 20.
And my very last one, my number one.
Is it a Sports Center commercial? Oh, no, you said it was a big game commercial.
It was a Super Bowl commercial.
Way to get us in trouble. Keep using that. Let me think.
If I give you the product, it might help.
Was it a Budweiser commercial?
It was a Reebok commercial.
A Reebok?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, this one spun off like 3 or 4 commercials after it.
Little Penny?
Nope.
Oh,
I don't think Little Penny was Reebok.
I don't remember.
Nope. This was Reebok. Terry Tate, Office Linebacker.
Oh,
Office Linebacker is a great commercial that I didn't think about for like years after until I went to college. And then for some reason, when I was at YTI, the Terry Tate commercial became like a thing with our class.
okay.
With like the sayings where, you know, he would tackle a guy after finishing up the pot of coffee.
Yeah.
And he would scream, "If you kill the Joe, make some more." And we would hear that in the class,
Yeah.
which was ridiculous because we didn't have a coffee pot at our school.
Yeah.
We had one of those little machines that popped down the cup and made it. Which was weird because we were culinary school, but we didn't have like any brewing equipment.
Yeah.
But, you know, Terry Tate, Office Linebacker, where he's constantly tackling people who aren't doing their job.
Yeah.
And then he would like get all nice and say like intelligent things during boardroom meetings. I don't know. Terry Tate was just a great commercial all around. All like 4 of them.
So, do you have any favorite commercials that you remember? Neither of us picked any of the Anheuser-Busch big game commercials.
I did come close to putting What's Up in the top 5.
I kept telling you that was one of mine. What's up?
And I was in middle school because like it was 7th grade. That whole rest of the year, that's all you heard. Kids were getting detention for it.
Yeah. The Budweiser Frogs.
Yep.
I'm actually surprised the avocado commercial. The draft with the
draft.
polar bear.
Yeah.
Did make the one Anheuser-Busch commercial I actually thought about, and one I remember was where the horses were playing football and the horse kicked a field goal and they had to go to replay, and the replay the referee was a zebra, and the two guys are watching the game they're talking about the zebra. That would have been one Anheuser-Busch commercial I would have picked. The other one would have been the Bud Bowl. A lot of people don't think, but those are commercials. They're just commercials. Well done in how they did them, making it into the game, the Bud Light and Budweiser. And then I think one year Bud Dry was part of it or something. I don't remember. But man, Anheuser-Busch was the king of commercials.
I almost put a life insurance commercial on mine because it confused me.
Okay.
It was a life insurance commercial where it was like this boy that I would say probably middle school age.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, I never got to play with these kids. And he's riding his bike. It's like, I never did. This girl. And like, it's all the things he didn't do.
Yeah.
He's like, 'cause I died. And then he just stares in the camera when he said that. And they're like, such and such life insurance. I'm like, these things would still hold true. Life insurance doesn't mean he's alive. It just means you got paid for your dead kid.
I don't remember that one at all.
It was like on the top 10 saddest Super Bowl big game commercials. Caught myself that time. But it was like the weirdest thing. It's like life insurance. It doesn't mean you insured his life to go on.
Yeah.
It's like he's still dead, this kid.
Yeah. Now, for insurance commercials, you know, the Nationwide insurance with Peyton Manning and Brad Paisley. Some of those, I don't know if they're memorable. They just play them so much. Again, they're viral in your head. Along with the Progressive commercials.
Well, see, I think this generation, the younger generation, is going to remember the Mayas, mainly because of the news outlet getting angry at M&M's for the Mayas and thinking it was a real thing campaign of getting rid of the characters.
Well, and the thing is, eventually our commercial's going to die off.
Oh, probably.
Because streaming services where you can pay not to have to watch commercials.
Oh, I never pay because I'm used to. We grew up with, so it doesn't bother me with commercials.
Yeah, you know, watching 2 minutes or 3 minutes of commercials before the movie or before whatever that then you don't have them throughout is fine. Or even having a minute long commercial
during
it a couple times. Again, doesn't bother me. We're used to that.
I mean, some of the streaming services does bother me because they'll be like, this scene's about to happen. 2 minutes of commercials. But, like, the movie doesn't stop, so it just skips that 2.5 minutes.
What?
And you can't go back because if you do, it plays 2.5 more minutes. Yeah, there's a couple sites like that where, like, the thing doesn't stop. It just plays ad over it.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it is.
I'm a huge NASCAR fan. And one of the things for this year's Daytona 500 that people are complaining about with Fox is the amount of commercials. Even though a lot of times they went side by side, you were getting commercials every 9.5 laps is what it ended up being.
It should have been more. I think things like racing, you could do a whole side by side for the whole 4 hours. And even if there's not the volume for the thing, like the commercial could just be running.
But still, there was an accident when they went to commercial. A big accident that took out some major players in the race. And they didn't come back.
Yeah. Well, they got to make capital.
Because it was side by side. They could have came back, talked about it, and went to commercial after that. There was one time they went to commercial where you didn't even see what happened to Bubba Wallace, who is a great restrictor place racer. Took him out. He was up front when that happened. We never saw it. So Formula One does it right in the U.S. With Sky Sports and ESPN, where they can run the entire race and don't show commercials because they show many before and after. Do that. I'm fine with that. But if now IndyCar does have a streaming platform through Peacock, and I believe they have one race a year that is strictly Peacock, which I didn't for some reason watch last year, so I don't know if they run commercials during that or if it's just fully beginning to end with no commercials.
Now I think they could go with audio commercials. Like Twitch does for some people. I'll be listening to a review of something on Twitch, and all of a sudden, if I'm not paying attention, all of a sudden I hear like, Dan DeVito here for Jersey Mike's, and the content's still going, just like I said with the movie thing, but it's an audio commercial, so I don't get to hear that bit of the thing. They could do that with sports.
Yeah.
Like, major wreck, and get your tires at, like, Firestone.
Yeah. But do you have a favorite commercial again? Any that have stuck out with you? Do you skip commercials, if possible, with your streaming service?
And if you do, stop it. Those people worked hard. It's a job for those folk.
But there are very many memorable commercials. But with that, hit the thumbs up, hit like, subscribe.
Share the video.
But give us ideas.
For our next top 5.
If you have any for top 5s. And with that, thanks for watching.
As always, stay sweet.